Today on All Things 80s, it's the random Star Wars figure review, episode 6. Welcome back to All Things 80s. Here we are, episode 6 of the random Star Wars figure review. So without further ado, let's pick a number and review that figure. So, number 30 has given us Princess Leia in her bush disguise, and I have to say, it looks an absolutely fantastic figure. Now, I've mentioned this previously, but this was the only Princess Leia figure I had as a child. Now, just looking at the figure itself, it looks brilliant, it really does. And things only get better because it's a removable helmet, which was unique at the time, although later to be shared with the Lando Calrissian skiff guard. Now, in terms of variants, there are a ton of variants of this figure, none of which are of any interest to me, so let me explain. There were, in fact, 3 different head sculpts for this, all very similar, and unless you know what you're looking for, you won't be able to tell the difference. Another variation was the colour used for the eyebrows and eyes. Now, my eyesight isn't what it was, but I think this figure has this sort of maroon coloured eyebrows and eyes, whereas some are dark brown or even black. Same with the hair, there are different shades of hair colour out there. Now, where we get into the really weird territory comes in the form of some of the dents or the ruffles in the costume. Now, my figure clearly has a dent in the knee on the right hand side. Some of them do not have this dent. Same with on the back. There are more sort of ruffles in the costume. Some figures have them, some figures don't. There was also a variation in the sculpting on the back here. As I said before, my eyes aren't what they used to be, and I'm having a hard time telling what I have here. But if you're really into this and variants are your thing, you will find Leia Bush figures with slightly different sculpting on the back here. Now, as I mentioned, it came with a removable helmet, which was a unique feature at the time, and I think a fantastic feature, it has to be said. And the material that was used for the helmet has a really soft feel to it, so it meant you could really squeeze it over the head and it was never going to fall off. Sadly, of course, when you see these for sale on the used market, a lot of kids manage to lose the helmet. Just looking at the helmet from a health and safety standpoint, I don't think this would be allowed in this day and age because there are no holes that if a kid were to swallow this, air could still pass through. Again, I'm not really someone who buys modern toys, so don't quote me on that, but that's just my feeling on the subject. Weapon-wise, fantastic staff, or is it a gun? No one really knows. We just know that in the movie, she held it as a staff when she was bringing in Chewbacca, like this, and she does hold it very well, but it could be argued that it's a very, very long rifle, which she also does hold to an extent, but I don't think I've ever seen anyone pose the figure in this way before. Just going over the costume, we sort of already mentioned those dents and variants and whatnot. It's a very nice looking costume, and the figure itself has been incredibly well sculpted, lots of detail, and all in all, I think it's one of the best figures in the Return of the Jedi line because there were quite a few stinkers that came out in 83, 84. This certainly is not one of them. Now, in terms of card backs, in the US, she was only released on the Return of the Jedi card, but the image that was used is a great image. And in Europe, this image was also used on the Tri-Logo cards. So in summary, and this is of course my opinion, this is probably the best Princess Leia figure. I would say possibly the Endor poncho being next, but again, my opinion. But whether you're a fan of Princess Leia or not, you can opt to choose to display it without the helmet, or you can make it full-on bounty hunter. and display it with the helmet. Whatever option you choose, you can't really go wrong, and this is a fantastic figure from Kenner. So that was a look at the Princess Leia in her bush disguise figure, and as I mentioned in the review there, one of my favourite Princess Leia figures, and of course the only Leia figure I had as a child. So thank you for watching, with extra special thanks to the patrons. Please like, please subscribe, and as always, stay tuned for more videos from All Things 80s.